A very warm welcome to fans of the Isle of Man TT races from around the world. My name's Chris Cave and I'll be your host this evening as we look forward to the event returning in 2022. We'll be joined by some of the biggest names in TT racing as we bring you headline news and the latest developments coming your way when the Isle of Man TT returns in 12 months' time. Joining me in the studio live, the most successful sidecar driver in TT history, Dave Molyneux. Dave, your life's revolved around the TT for decades now. How optimistic are you about the event's future after a 2-year absence?
Well, I'm really optimistic about it from what I've heard and what I actually know. The organisers and the Isle of Man government have put a great lot of work in, and it's got a great future. You know, there's some changes been made that really needed to be made, and it's onwards and upwards.
Let's take a closer look at the return of the TT then, because when it does, it will look slightly different. The organisers had already designed an amended race schedule for 2020, but as we now know, that didn't happen. But that has been rolled forward to 2022, starting on Sunday the 29th of May with a new lengthier afternoon qualifying session. The 8-race programme gets underway on Saturday the 4th of June and kicks off a tighter, more streamlined race week with the absence of TT0 and the recently established midweek qualifying sessions. Instead, the 2022 schedule sees the introduction of a one-lap warm-up that will allow the competitors to get a good look at conditions around the mountain course and get dialed in ahead of the day's racing. But much bigger changes are coming your way in 2023 with an increased 10-race schedule, starting with a bumper qualifying session on the 29th of May. That's the late May bank holiday in the UK and the British Isles, and it will culminate with the senior TT on Saturday the 10th of June. This new schedule sees the TT grow from 8 to 10 races, with competitors in all 5 classes now getting to compete in 2 races per class. There's also a greater focus on weekend racing, with 6 of the 10 races now slated to take place over 2 long weekends. The new schedule doesn't just open up opportunities for fans coming to the Isle of Man to see the TT for real, it also enhances the experience for all of us TT fans, giving us the one thing we crave the most, and that's more TT racing.
I like the fact that it's been stretched out like that, and my race has been, the sidecars have been put back into the middle of the week again. You know, that's good for the fans as well, you know, because it's a long break between the 2 sidecars recently. No, I think this is going to be a really good change. Excellent.
The capacity limit is raised to 900cc for twin-cylinder machines, and this again opens up the class to a new range of power units. We're joined now by a man who's pushing boundaries on 3 wheels, the fastest sidecar driver in TT history, Ben Burchell. Ben, great to have you with us. We know that sidecar racing is an integral part of the TT, but how important is the TT to sidecar racing and to you personally?
Massively to both parts. Certainly to me and Tom and my team, it's our biggest event of the year now, and the most important thing to us. And also, I can pretty much say it's the most important event in sidecar racing. It's so unique and it's so incredible, and it certainly has had a massive part in sidecar racing for a long, long time.
You build and prepare sidecars as well, so talk us through that. What's your approach going forward, and do you expect other competitors to follow suit?
It's I think what's great, what they've done with the sidecar class is give it another option, because for years it was quite stale, and in fact I think the last change that was made, it encouraged the sidecar class to take a different route, and you know, maybe that's going to happen again. Certainly for our next TT, we'll stay with what we've got. The bike that we've 2 years ago now prepared and built is quite unique, and it was hopefully going to be a big step forward. So we'll go with that, and we'll be running Honda again, and just wait and see, really, see how things pan out with the new rules. It certainly needs a year to sort of filter down, and in our position it would be a bit risky to try and do something quite radical, but we'll just see what happens.
What we'd all love to see, I'm sure, here this evening is to see a lap of the TT course in a sidecar, 120 miles per hour. Is that achievable? Do you think that could ever happen?
Well, it feels a long way away now. Yeah, for sure. It will. It definitely will. If it's not me, it'll be somebody else that does it. I shouldn't say me. I should say us, me and Tom. It certainly takes two of us to do that speed, and we'll be pushing for a great result, hopefully. And I know that there's some real competition coming through the ranks, and hopefully that'll push us all up to that speed. And it'd be fantastic to see a sidecar doing 120 mile an hour for sure.
I'm sure you pair will give it a right good go. We've mentioned throughout this evening the 2-year absence and what it means to the TT and the competitors. How do you think it will have impacted the less experienced members?
I don't think it will have impacted too much. I mean, obviously everybody's going to be a bit rusty when we first get back there, but you can't replicate the TT anyway. So I think everyone's still been riding. We all got some good racing in last year, and we certainly will this year. So the bikes that we ride at TT, we do on short circuit as well. But the event is so unique; it's just there. So they'll pick up where they left off. I'm sure of it. And the young lads, it's a shame for them that they've had to miss a couple of years. I know for someone of the more experienced teams, we can hopefully pick it up a little bit quicker, but let's hope it don't stall their progress too much. But they're under no pressure to come back straight away and be up at our pace. I think that sidecar's good for that. That it'll take a few years, and everyone's aware of that. So that's sort of what they have in mind, and build the speed up. And I know one thing's for sure: there's some real talent coming through, and they're going to be pushing us as we get older and slower.
Ben, thanks for joining us. You're not showing any signs of slowing up anytime soon. Let's turn our attentions now to Maria Costello. Maria, you're in a unique position because you're currently the only person in the TT paddock who's competing on both 2 and 3 wheels. So all the changes we've discussed just now affect you. What do you make of the changes?
Yeah, I'm loving all the developments across the whole of the TT, especially the classes that I'm in. That's great seeing those evolve, and really looking forward to getting back to doing the TT next year with my new passenger Vicky. And we've been really missing it, so we're ready to go again.
And I'm sure a question on everyone's lips is just how difficult is it to transition from 2 wheels to 3?
Okay, so it's a very different thing, but it's not difficult to transition. And obviously I'm still learning in the sidecar, but it's the learning curve is really all to do with course knowledge. And of course I've got a lot of that as I've been racing at the TT for a long time. And that's why it allows me to show quite well in my debut in 2019 in the sidecar. So it's good to get back there and have more practice, because we did have bad weather that year and we had so few laps. So with more practice, what can we achieve? I'm really excited to see.
And you say you are still learning and you haven't had a great deal of lap time in a sidecar around the TT course. Is it a career path you'd recommend to your peers and that they should also try and take it up?
Absolutely. I mean, I loved it in 2019. It was like Christmas morning every time I got to go in the sidecar, because it was all so new, but really enjoyable, especially at those speeds. Obviously, I'm sure it's a lot different for the Burchells, etc., when they're lapping at those high speeds. But I'm sure we'll see more people come into this. Maybe the likes of Michael Dunlop.
Well, we'll have to wait and see whether Michael takes you up on that offer. But Maria Costello, Ben Burchell, thank you very much for being with us this evening, and we can't wait to have you back here racing again around the mountain course. Dave Molyneux, you're the logical person to come to here, a sidecar legend. What do you make of the changes?
Well, I've been around a long time, as you know, and I was racing when the open class was here in 1989. The organisers decided to drop the class and run a 600 Formula 2 format from 1990 onwards. 30 years is over 30 years is a long time for any one particular make and category of engine. So I really welcome the change, and I've took the step to go with the twin-cylinder KTM 890 engine. I've tried and tested it. It's a pretty good unit. I'm really looking forward to getting out there and riding this thing.
And we heard from Ben there, and you hear it from a lot of the sidecar drivers and the sidecar teams. It's about construction, it's about the teamwork. Would you say that the Dave Molyneuxs of today are like the Bruce McLarens of old? They do everything in their...
Well, yeah, what can I say? We all put a great deal of effort in. I know Ben there with his LCR chassis. I build my own chassis. There's 3 or 4 other guys out there that are producing chassis for customers as well. And believe it or not, there is quite a lot of development goes on in the background. We've got all sorts of little trinket bits and pieces, you know, going on with suspension, tyres, brakes, and we like to keep a few secrets. So yeah, it's a little bit like the Bruce McLarens of the day.
Well, let's try and prize one of those secrets from you. We all want an exclusive here tonight. We're itching to get the TT back. What can you tell us about what you've got in the workshop for 2022?
Well, I've gone back to building my own chassis after 1 year on an LCR, which was good for me. I needed the break. It's quite an intense year building and producing something, trying to think of new ideas, something fresh to bring, and sometimes, quite often, it goes sideways instead of forward. So, but the biggest thing is the twin-cylinder category. I firmly believe this is something that's really good for the sport. And I thank the TT organisers for actually having the foresight to see the reasons behind why it's a good idea. But not to get too deep into it, it's the way forward. I think it'll open up a whole new category of engines coming in, BMW, KTM, Husqvarna, and also I think it might be a little bit more affordable, so I'm hoping it's going to help young guys and young teams come through with a little bit less stress on the pocket.
You know the TT better than almost anyone, I think. I mean, you must be incredibly excited about the future of the TT.
I am, just looking at it from a newcomer's point of view, and guys, girls coming in to ride here. The future looks really good and secure. So when you're a rider and you're starting out young, you want to really know that you've like Milky said before, it's a 5-year program from being a newcomer. I'm excited for them guys. You know, this is good, real good news. And on a personal note, in the sidecar class, I'm on the other end of the scale. Got John saying he's 50, blinking heck, I'll be 58 next year. And I'm going to combine my age with my passenger, 98, I think we clocked in. But some good experience. But we're as excited as them young guys wanting to come here and ride. And just really thankful that we've got that opportunity to do this again. You know, there were doubters. I've walked the streets, go through ShopRite, you know, get me shopping, and people go, do you think it'll even run again, Dave? Yeah, of course it's going to go again. And yeah, this is really exciting, good stuff.